TigerCast Beyond the Game is brought to you by Embassy Suites Hunt Valley, a preferred hotel partner of Towson Athletics. Book your stay in this all-suites hotel by calling 410-584-1400 or by visiting them on the web at embassybaltimore.com.
Hey Tiger fans, we're back with another episode of TigerCast, the official podcast of Towson Athletics. I'm Laura Leidig with the Towson Sports Network, and I'm joined by Elise Devlin and Nikki Sliwak from Women's Lacrosse. Elise, how you doing today?
I'm good, Laura. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you back. And Nikki, how's your day going?
It's good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So just to get into a little bit about you, your hometown and the move from New York to Maryland, what was that experience like?
So I was at University of Maryland before this. So I've been in Maryland for 4 years and I love it. I didn't want to leave. I want to stay here as long as I can. So I was really happy that I was able to find a new home for a year in Maryland, in the Baltimore area. And I'm really grateful. And
so you're a grad student here at Towson, and this is your first year here. How's it going? What are you studying?
It's going so good. It's weird because I haven't really been to campus. Like I only have online classes. But I just love the area. I'm doing a second bachelor's in psychology. So I'm not really technically a grad student, but they just don't really know what to call it. But I love it. So yeah.
That's a lot. Like that's a hard schedule. Like how are you coping with that and being a student athlete?
It's actually not that bad because the way we planned out classes and stuff, that I have lacrosse and lifting and all that in the morning, and then I have my classes at night in the afternoon. So it's actually pretty balanced, and I have some time for me to do things that I want also to keep my mental in check. But no, it hasn't really been that bad at all.
I was just going to ask, how long does the program that you're doing with the psychology take? How long will it take you to complete?
So I did this. I did psychology because one, I love psychology. I think it's very fascinating to understand how a person works. But I had a lot of psych classes from Maryland, so they transferred over. So I'm able to complete my second degree in just a year, which is really nice.
What kind of influenced your decision to come to Towson?
First of all, the coaches. I love the coaches for my team. I think they're so awesome. And I never heard anything bad about them. I had a couple girls that I was friendly with that I knew, and they spoke so highly of it. And then the more I really looked into the school and the academics, it kind of just really seemed like a perfect fit. And like I said before, I really wanted to stay in Maryland. I just made so many connections here that it was something I wasn't ready to let go of. So it kind of just really happened so fast, and it turned out for the better.
Were there any standout changes and differences in dynamic philosophy between UMD and Towson, like the team aspect?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of similarities. It's funny because all my coaches, 3 of my coaches went to Maryland. So it's and then I came over here with another Maryland girl. So we're kind of connected by Terps everywhere we go. But it's very similar. I just think the people, the way that they were so welcoming, my teammates were so nice, and just open arms. And everyone is they're here to work hard, and we're here to win. And everyone just buys in, which I think is very similar to UMD, just wanting to win and wanting to do it for your teammates.
Now, being a graduate student is a little bit different in the recruiting process, just going into college. So can you walk us through the differences, getting recruited by UMD and then knowing that you were going to get recruited and go to Towson as a graduate student?
So because of the COVID year, it was a little different. So I had to enter the transfer portal to kind of be released from Maryland because technically I had another year there. So then it was more like I was reaching out because it was just a weird time. It's not like you're going to, when you're younger, you go to lacrosse tournaments and you're emailing coaches and they're emailing you, and you're visiting schools and stuff. And obviously it was just, this time is very different. And so I had reached out to them after I said before, my friend Nat had committed here. And I had another connection with a girl on the team, so which helped. I mean, it was definitely weird just because, like I said, like the whole recruiting thing is way different. And especially I had already played for a year, so it was just different, but it worked out.
You said that you love Maryland a lot, and that was kind of your reason for looking at Towson. Do you think you'll stick around here with your career and what you do after this?
So I would love to, but I actually am going to grad school for occupational therapy back on Long Island, but I don't want to stay on Long Island. So hopefully in a couple of years, I'll be back here. I just have so many people, my best friends, everyone that I just have really became so close with in college or here, and I don't really want to be away from them.
What is your favorite part about Maryland? What made you fall in love with Maryland?
I honestly, the first was just the people. Like, coming from Long Island, most people are like, oh, Long Island. And I could see it. Every time I say I'm from Long Island, I'm like, I'm nice. I swear I'm not. I am a crazy driver, but like, I am nice. But the people, I just felt like were just so warm, and again, so warm and welcoming, and just different. And I just love the state. I love Baltimore. I love DC, and everything in between. So
I'm from Jersey, so I totally get the crazy stereotype of the driving. I totally get that.
Yeah, Maryland drivers really need to pick it up. That's the only complaint I have, but I can live with it.
I mean, born and raised in Maryland, I'll still say that Maryland drivers are bad. So
terrible. I've done the trip so many times, and man.
Well, I have to say, even though you've been in Maryland all this time, you haven't lost your Long Island accent.
I know. I have like a mixture, because there's some words of like Maryland, because some people, like some of my roommates say like home and phone, and sometimes that will come out, and the other times it's like super Long Island. So it's like, I don't know, it's different each time I say it.
In Maryland, we do a weird thing with O's. I don't know why.
Yeah. But like not everyone though. It was only, I think, 2 or 3 of my roommates, but then the other people from Maryland didn't do it. Like, it's only certain areas, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's odd. Yeah.
You know, my mom's like, what are you saying? Like, where are you from?
You've played a lot of sports. Your bio mentions basketball and soccer and all these different sports. How did you get involved in so many different athletics?
Yeah, my family is just a very athletic family. My mom and dad both played sports, and it was just something that came really natural to us. I have an older brother who went right into sports also when he was young, and then I have a twin brother, and we just both, you know, started out playing like Snoopy soccer or whatever, and just really fell in love with it. Sports is just, it's a part of who I am, really. So I really love it.
So how old were you when you started playing lacrosse?
I was about like first grade. You just like do little clinics or whatever when you're young. You really have no idea how to play. You can't even hold a stick because you're so little. But it's just fun. And I had a best friend who, her sister, like her family was all lacrosse. And I really got into it with her, like, and her family. Her dad was our like PAL coach. So as I was playing, I just truly fell in love with the game. I was playing a bunch of sports, but lacrosse was just one that really like stood out to me, and really like was just one that I really enjoyed every aspect of. So
what kind of aspects kind of drove you to that decision to hone in on lacrosse?
I just think the way the game is, it's just such a fast-paced game. I love running up and down the field. I love the game of runs, the momentum swings, and I used to play midfield, so I love just causing like turnovers on defense, and and then you get the ball and you bring it down to the offense, and scoring goals is really fun. So yeah, I don't know. I just really loved it. I mean, I love soccer and basketball too, but lacrosse was just one that I was probably the best at. So I liked it more because I was good at it. So
and you mentioned midfield, so you weren't always playing attack.
Yeah, no. In high school, I played midfield. And then in college, I started to play attack.
Did you ever, like, what other positions did you try as you were trying to get to the collegiate level?
Really just midfield and attack. When you get to college, it's a little different just because everyone is so good. So it's like to be able to play midfield. We had a lot of midfielders on our team at Maryland, and attack was a place that we just needed more people. So I kind of just was put there, and I'm small. So it kind of just worked. It fit.
I'm going to circle back to what you were saying about how lacrosse has given you experiences and moments like scoring goals is like no other. Can you name like your favorite moment from this past season with Towson that you've had that feels like that exact feeling? And I know you guys are 8-4. You're having a really good season. So give me a moment that stands out for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Every time I get to step out on the field with those girls, it's so special. It's something I don't take for granted. I'm really grateful for just even getting this opportunity to play. But I don't know. I guess our Loyola game, it was in the beginning of the season. Like that was just so fun. It was our first like night game, and we're on a new field. Some crazy light show going on there. So I would say probably that game in particular, it was just so fun. Everyone was just so fired up. We scored so many goals, so many goal celebrations. So that was really fun.
So looking at the Towson, it being your first year, what is the team dynamic? Who are the players looking to for that leadership role? What's it like just being on the team?
I think it's something that's really cool because it's like you have grad students, so you have like fifth years, and then you have freshmen, and then you have like the sophomores who were kind of freshmen because they didn't really fully play a full season. So we got like a whole mix of people, and I think that something that's really special about us is that everyone on that field is capable of taking over a game in any second. Anyone on the offense is capable of putting the ball in the back of the net. Like everyone is so dangerous. And there's different personality, different roles, but everyone just really fits so well together. That's something that's been like really special to have.
In regards to you and your pregame routine, do you have like a specific going through the motions you go through before every game?
Yeah, I mean, I eat the same meal. I always have this veggie wrap from the diner. I don't know why. It's just so good. But really I just like kind of like listen to music, again, the zone, in the locker room, just being with my teammates really like gets me fired up and gets me going for the game. And then I just really like take my time mentally in the warm up to like warm myself up mentally and, get in that zone. But yeah, not really anything special.
I always find myself asking this question because every athlete says how much they love their music.
I'm actually someone, I get very anxious sometimes before games. And I actually have found that, listening to calm music helps me like just relax. So I'm not really like hardcore rap or anything. It's more just like chill, like just like vibing out, which gets me like kind of just calm and ready to go.
You mentioned with that anxiety, like wanting to have some music that calms you down. Like how has coping with anxiety and being an athlete, how have you done both of those things?
Yeah, I'm pretty open about all this stuff. I struggle with anxiety and depression, and it's been a journey for me for sure. It's taken me a really long time to get to where I am and to be able to step out on that field. But it's a process. Being a student athlete who struggles with mental health is not something to be scared of. I feel like people don't really talk about it, but I like to talk about it because it's who I am. It's a part of who I am. And it's an extra training to your game, but I think it can only help you even better to use the right mental tools.
And if you don't mind me asking, what kind of tools are you using just for other athletes who may be having the same issues? Like, what kind of advice or tools are you using?
Yeah. Well, the first one is I shied away from it for so long, but I finally decided my sophomore year of college to go on medicine, on an antidepressant, which truly helped me in so many ways. It just, instead of, having my anxiety and depression like take over my world, it just kind of helped me separate the two. And people are kind of scared of it and don't really talk about it, but it really was life-changing for me. So I feel like that should really be an option for people. And then I read so many books on just how to handle it and how to identify the anxiety and, different ways to cope with it. Working out is something that's really like beneficial for me just because that's how I release it. And just, I always say this is my like number one rule. When I was in a really bad depression, like making my bed was so hard. So if I can make my bed every morning, like that's a win on the day for me. So make your bed every morning.
Here at Towson, we actually have Own Your Roar. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah, I'm on that.
Yeah, so am I.
That's
It's
awesome.
great. It's awesome. And it kind of like shows that athletics and mental health can go hand in hand. And it's really important to, put a focus on that stigma. And so kind of going off of that, I've actually read your story on Athlete Humanity, which is that you and your brother kind of put together, and you shared your story on that big platform. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my brother, he kind of struggled with the same thing. And as he got older, he made Athlete Humanity as a website for student athletes to just write their story and tell it how they want it to be told and to be heard. So I had helped him with it and helped getting people to write stories. And then finally I was like, I have a really big story myself. So I finally wrote one and kind of, put my story out there. But I feel like obviously it was scary to release that because I'm giving my whole life away, really. And it was something that I never talked about before. But then just the response and the way that people were reached out, and it was just it was so amazing. And I'm really happy that I was able to do that. And I always say this also, if I can just help one person or have that story affect one person in a meaningful way, then it's worth it.
If you don't mind me asking, I don't want to ask anything that you don't mind. If you want to go a little bit into your story, just for our listeners to have an idea.
Yeah. So it started when I was very young. I lost my dad on 9/11 when I was 3 years old. So I grew up without a dad, which I think had a really big impact on my depression. And then started to really come out when I was in middle school, going into freshman year of high school. I just was really starting to process it. And it was something that was, I didn't really know what it was at the time, which made it more difficult. And then I also struggled with an eating disorder in my sophomore year, just because there was a lot of different things going on in my life. And I just felt like the only way I couldn't really control anything, so I could control what I ate. So I struggled a lot with that my sophomore year. And then I got to college, and at Maryland, I didn't it was just, I wanted to go away, and it was something I always look forward to. But when I got there, it was just very overwhelming for me. You know, I have new college classes. I'm meeting so many new people. I'm away from home from my mom, who is my rock. And I didn't realize how much that would affect me. And then it was just all these assignments, college classes. I was failing like I've never failed anything in my life before. And I wasn't really playing in lacrosse. I went from being like one of the top girls coming off Long Island to then sitting the bench, which was something that I've never done before. So that it was just a lot that I had to deal with. So I really started dealing with anxiety then. And, you know, the anxiety then fell into a deep depression. And then, you know, I slowly started to just change my mindset and focus on the things that I could control instead of focusing on all these other things I couldn't. And that really started to change who I was.
Having gone through all of these like experiences and obstacles and getting to where you are today, how do you think that has shaped you into like a new or different version of yourself now from where you were?
Oh my God. If I were to go back and look at myself at high school, I am like a very, very different person for the better. You know, in high school was a hard time for me because, like I said, I was processing the death of my dad. I was like struggling with like PTSD from it. And then with the eating disorder, I wasn't fun to be around. Like people didn't really want to be around me because I was so negative. You know, everything was it was never my fault. I put the blame on everyone else really, instead of looking inwards and looking at what I was doing. So now I think I just view the world and view life in a whole different way. And just really take it day by day instead of worrying about everything and everyone, and just being grateful really, and appreciating the little things.
Does this have a role in your decision to pursue psychology?
Yeah. Well, my older brother, he actually is in his doctorate right now for psychology. I'm not going there. He's the smart one. I'll let him do that. But yeah, psychology is something that I really take interest to, because the brain and your thoughts and your mind really can determine who you are, which I think is really fascinating. But you can also change it, which is why I also wanted to go into it, to just be able to like see the different things and see how everything relates.
And just circling back to you saying that you were using working out as like an outlet. How has that helped you? Like in what ways? How has the working out been beneficial, I guess?
Yeah. Well, so like when I was struggling with my eating disorder in high school, working out actually was really not beneficial, because I was not eating and then I was working out like a crazy amount, more than anyone should, because I was going from practice to like a CrossFit class to like run after. Like it was just really crazy because I just wasn't doing it in a healthy way. But now it's just something where I can like go to the gym and I know what my body needs. And if my body can go through a full workout, then I'm going to put it through a full workout. If I'm sore or if I'm not up to it, I'm not feeling it, then I'm just going to do what my body allows. And at that time in high school, it was something I felt like I had to do. Like if I didn't work out, then it just like, it gave me so much anxiety because I didn't get a workout in that day. But now it's something that I just truly enjoy. Like I just enjoy going for a run in beautiful weather and listening to music. I enjoy going to the gym and just like working on myself. So that's really been beneficial, and changing that mindset of instead of having to, but I can, and I get to do it.
Yeah. And I just want to applaud you and all that you're like coming out and talking about everything and being a voice for other athletes and just speaking out. It's definitely admirable.
Thank you so much.
So one last thing we do with the athletes is I've kind of started a little bit of like, I love competition. I'm not an athlete anymore, but I love competition. So I started competition on my podcast. So we do rapid fire questions. So there's 10 questions. You're just going to like answer them with one word, like the first one that comes to mind. I will let you know that Sam Algetz from field hockey holds the fastest time with 35 seconds. So I want to see if you can beat that today.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay.
I like winning, so.
What'd you say?
I like to win, so.
Yeah. It's pretty easy. Just 10 questions, 1-word responses. And I think Elise is going to be our recorder.
I got you on the stopwatch.
Okay. So you can just start as soon as I ask the first question. So favorite sport to watch?
Football.
Favorite food?
Salad.
Favorite athlete?
Patrick Mahomes.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Favorite movie?
Remember the Titans.
Favorite TV show?
I have no idea.
Favorite song? Favorite song?
Song? Oh God. I have no idea. A Justin Bieber song.
Favorite musical artist?
Justin Bieber.
And then you put your left shoe or your right shoe on first?
Left.
Okay.
44.09.
Oh man.
That was pretty good though. You were going really strong in the beginning. That was good.
Yeah.
The favorite song is what trips people up because there's just too many.
Yeah, I don't really have like one favorite song. Like I have a favorite song for like a couple weeks and then it changes.
I feel like you were pretty quick on the hardest question. I would have struggled with favorite movie right off the bat. You were like, Remember the Titans. That was good.
It's a great film. Like, of course that's.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, or We Are Marshall is a great film too. I love a good football movie.
I've never seen We Are Marshall. It's always on TV, but I never have actually watched it.
It's really good.
I need to watch that.
That's a wrap on this week's episode, Tiger fans. Thank you, Elise, and thank you, Nikki, for joining me. Be on the lookout for another episode of TigerCast for the Towson Sports Network. I'm Laura Leidick, and as always, go Tigers.